Good afternoon, students. I'm going to continue with the interpenetration of curves, which I posted last week. We did a couple of pipe connections and how they do interpenetrate into each other. And the last part of interpenetration that you guys must know is when you have a cone, which is a conical pipe connecting to a round pipe, or this pipe can be hexagon pipe or triangular pipe. So in my example here, the pipe is a round pipe. That's why you see this round. It's when you come to the right-hand side here, okay, you are going to see a round pipe. And then whenever a cone meets with a pipe, you need also to do the interpenetration on the top view. Without the interpenetration of the top view, you are going to lose a lot of marks. And we start with that interpenetration before we even do the interpenetration on the front view. So the thing is, do you understand the difference between a cone and a pyramid? A pyramid can have a bottom which is not round, okay? This is a cone because it has got a bottom which is round. That's the top view. When I talk of a pyramid, this one can be drawn like that, and then from the top view, you'll find that maybe it's an hexagon pyramid, like that. So on the top view, you are going to see something like that. Why? Because it's an hexagonal pyramid. All right, this is what we mean by pyramid. It means that this corner here is the one lining up with that. This corner here is lining up with that. This corner here is lining up with this point. This corner is lining up with that. And you can't draw the front before you draw the top. Then if I say this hexagon pyramid has got a pipe coming into it, maybe from this side. This is another question examiner can ask you. This pipe can be round or can be any shape. So here we are dealing with a cone with a round pipe. This is an hexagon with a round pipe. They'll give you maybe diameter 20. The side length of the hexagon will be given, maybe 25. You will use the methods that we have done in module 1 on how to draw the prisms. You have to start here and project up, get to the bottom. You are going to be given the height. This height will be given to you, which is to the apex. That is your apex. What we need is how these pipes will interpenetrate with one another. I want to emphasize one point here. The method I'm going to use on this question, you can use here. The only difference between the two is that this one that you see on the right-hand side, being that this is not a round one and this is a round one, we are going to make sure that the circle is divided in 12 divisions. And then the interpenetration that we are going to get both here and here will be a curve, not straight lines. But if the connection was with a hexagon pyramid and then with an hexagonal pipe, for instance, or a triangular pipe, I can change this to a triangular pipe. Okay? It means the interpenetration that you are going to get here and here won't be a curve, but you are going to have straight lines. You are going to connect all the points using a ruler. As long as the two shapes or the two pipes are not, there's none of them that is round, you are going to do straight lines. Like that connection there. You have a triangular pipe going into a pyramid which has got corners. It's an hexagon pyramid. When we connect the points of interpenetration, we are not going to use a flexi curve or a freehand curve. We are going to just draw connections with a ruler. As long as there is a round pipe, if this changes to a round pipe, and even if this one remains to be hexagonal or octagon or square pyramid, just know that as long as there is a round pipe coming in here, the curve of interpenetration here and here is going to be a round smooth curve. Even this question that I've put down here, if I change this pipe now into a hexagon pipe, it's still going to be a curve and a curve. Why? Because a cone is round. So if you have a round cone with any other shapes of pipes coming into the cone, you are still going to have a curve of interpenetration, which is a curve without straight lines. But if the base here is any other shapes, it can be, maybe it's made like that, that's the bottom, or maybe it's an octagon base, or it's a triangular base. As long as it's a triangular base with a round pipe or hexagon base with a round pipe, remember that your curve will be a smooth curve, not straight lines. But if it's a square pyramid with a square pipe, you are going to have to join the points with a ruler. That's the only difference there, but the method is the same. So I am going to demonstrate how we get the interpenetration on this one, okay? Hopefully we can do this one quickly, but the method is going to remain the same. I'm going to say maybe that pipe is sitting here, that small pipe. Yeah, it's a different question. And I'm going to go back to a round pipe. There's a reason why I want it to be round pipe. So even here also it's a round pipe, okay? I'll come to this one. We can do this one first. Remember I use red for the construction lines. I do not have red, so I am going to work with the green. Any ink in green here is construction line on your paper. It means it's that line that's very light and faint, okay? So the first thing you do, there are two ways in which you can draw this. This method you see here has got 1, 2, 3 views. The method that you see on the other left side, there's no right view, which can also work. So I'm going not to use 45 here, but here I'll work with 45. It's up to you. If you work with 45 degrees, there won't be a need of drawing a circle here on the top view, okay? But here, because we don't have a 45 degrees line here, and we don't have a side view, we are going to draw a small circle here, which is same diameter as that. These two pipes are the same, they are the same pipe, but this is viewing from the top, and this is viewing from the front. We are missing the right view. So without a right view, you can still get the interpenetration. So if you find this method easier, you can use this one, or you prefer the other one, it's still okay. You can still get the interpenetration right without the 45 degrees. Just make sure that once you use 45 degrees, the center line of 45 here, the straight line here, and the line that comes from the top view, at the point where they meet here, is the point where you draw your construction line of 45 degrees. Because all the points that will be coming from a circle will be coming to 45, and then we turn that side. That's why your 45 degrees must be in the correct position. And how do we position? We just make sure the center line and that center line they meet, and then we do a 45 degrees. All right. I'm going to divide this circle. As long as the pipe that's coming into the cone is a round pipe, you must divide the circle in 12 divisions. How do we divide the circle in 12 divisions? You take the radius of a circle. Let's say this one is R20. You open your compass to 20 radius, okay? And you are going to place your compass here, and then you are going to mark on the circle and another mark here. Then you move to here with the same radius of 20. You come to that point here. You are going to mark here, and you are going to mark here. Then you shift at that point here with the same 20 radius. You are going to mark here, and you are going to mark here. We are marking on the circle. And then the last point to use is this one here. When you put your compass here, you mark here, and then you mark here. So you go through 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and then you divide the circle in 12 divisions. The way you number is your own choice, but I prefer we number using this line because this line is acting like a Y line, okay? So you can number with 0 at the top here. If you put 0 here, it means that the 0 is this one here, because to draw this pipe here, you project from this circle like that. All right, so you are going to project 0 here in construction line. You can number 1 here, then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can number half 6 and half 6 here, as long as on the top view, the center line of the cylinder, which is the circle or the pipe, is in the same line with the cone. You can see the center of the cone is here, and that is the same center of the pipe. They are not offset pipes. But there will be situations where you have a cone at the top here, and then its center is here. And you find that the pipe is sitting somewhere down here. This is an offset pipe. And in cases like that, you must number all the way to 12, okay? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 12. Why? Because this is a different case. And once we have it a case like this, there will be two curves of interpenetration. One will be hidden line and the other one will be outer line. But I'm going to record another one where we have an offset pipe for you to understand. Otherwise, we can watch the other videos that I recorded on the pipes that are offset. The same concept is going to work here. Okay, so once you do that, project all your numbers from the circle, which is the connecting pipe, project them and bring them on this slant height of a cone. Here, I'm going to use green. You bring all the lines to this point here. So 0 is coming until that point. Then you have point 1 passing through another one here. You project until that point. 2 with the 2. And then 3 is already there. Then it's 4 and 4. Then it's 5 and 5. And then it's 6. There is 6. The green lines are construction lines. You have to make sure that, you work with construction lines. All right, then once you do that, you still need to bring those numbers down to this side. But I'll show you how we do that. I'll leave them for now. I'll come with point 0 here on the slant height. This one is called a slant height. This point is the apex. So you bring all your points to the slant height, and if it's 0 when it hits the slant height, bring the lines vertically down and through the point here on the top view, and through the Y line or until the center line on the top view. Once that has been done, you open your compass from here to the point here and draw a circle. What's the meaning of this circle? They're telling you that a cone is made up of circles. The big circle is the bottom one, which is starting here. But at each and every height, you're going to have circles reducing, circles reducing. It's like you have a big circle at the bottom, okay? And then at different heights, you have different circles, different, and you get to the top, which is this one here. So at that height here, what is the diameter of this circle? We want to know that diameter. That is the circle. If you want, you can also bring the line this side, straight down. There, when you open your compass, you draw the circle passing through. In construction lines. But it's not even necessary to draw a full circle. So the rest of the points, I'll just work with a half circle on the right because the connection is on the right hand side. Then I'll go to point 1. I'll bring point 1 here straight down with a T-square. At that point, open your compass from here to here. I'll just draw a semicircle. Then I do the same with that. Open the compass from here to there. Okay, then the center. Then you draw the circle again. Use a compass. You put your compass and then you draw. Okay, then point 3 is here. Point 3 we have done. This is point 4. Point 4. Point 5. Okay, and then our last point is the bottom one here, number 6. And then also you draw the circle here through 6. So I can modify this big circle because it's far away. You can just leave it here. You see, that big circle, obviously you know that it's starting here and here. If you have to follow this line, it must bring you to that circle here. And that line, it must bring you to that circle here. Okay, So we just focus only on the ones that are falling on the pipe, which are 0 to 6 only. Then we start by getting the interpenetration on the top view right. Before we get the interpenetration here, you get it right here. So what you are going to do is to project there. I already have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arcs here. So if I come with number 0, that's 0 here. I'll try to use red. This is 0. You hit 45 degrees, you bring it here. It must come and hit 0 there at that point. That is the point on the interpenetration. Then you go to number 1. You can either use both or one side. It's the same. If you use this one here, it's going to pass through 5. Bring this line to 45 degrees. Okay? And then you bring in this side. That is 1 and 5. So there is 1 where it meets the arc of number 1. It's that point. And the arc of 5. Why 1 and 5? Because it's 1 and 5 and 1. Which you do here, it's 1 and 5. If you don't want to come with a projection like that, you can just take a ruler and mark at the bottom. Otherwise, we need to show this. 1 through 5. 45 degrees, bring your line here. Okay, then you get, draw it nicely. I'll change. Yeah, where it hits the arc of 1, it's here. And the arc of 5 is here. This was 1 and 6, 0 and 6. But we already marked 0 here. So 6 must be marked that side. Why? Because it's the same line. The next point is 2 with 4. Bring your line through 2 and 4 when it hits 45. Okay, straight, please make sure that it's a straight line. This was a straight line here, but in construction, also this should be straight line in construction. This is number 2 and number 4. When I come with this line, the second line is this one, the arc, which came from here. You can see we drew the arc, second arc with that line. Then number 4, you can still come with that and then get the arc of number 4, which is this one here. So it's 2 and 4. On the other side, you have 2 and 4. Bring the line straight to 45 degrees. And then here, we are saying 4, so number 4 is here, and number 2 is here. The only arc left is number 3. I think if you follow 3, you came here, then come down with 3. This is the center one. And then from there, I drew this red. I'll draw it in red because it's halfway. That's number 3. So how do I get a point on number 3? Again, it's 3 and 3. So you bring this line down. And this one, for sure, it's going to bring you here. Okay, though the drawing is not straight, but it's the one that brings you here. And the other 3 here, when you bring down, is the one that takes you to 45 here. Like that. So it means your 45 degrees is passing somewhere there. All right. So it's 3 and it brings you here. Then when you continue with your 3, that's the line. And this one, you just extend like that. Yeah, make sure it's straight. You must make sure that that meets with the arc of 3, which is this point here, the red arc. And here, the other 3 at the bottom with the red arc is here. So we have all the points of the interpenetration. The only thing that needs to be done is that when you are looking here, this is a top view. We are saying top interpenetration. It's like we are looking from there, from the top. The top half is this one here. And that is the top half when you follow these numbers here. The top half you see 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. These numbers, when you follow them here, when you come with them down, it's the left half of what? The top view. And that half should be an outline. I'm going to use black. You need to use freehand sketch or flexi curve. Okay, then it goes there. Yeah. You're going to follow the points of the interpenetration. even I was doing this with another square pipe or what, here I was going to use roller, to connect the point with roller, as long as this pipe wasn't round. If it's a square pipe into this pipe, the same points you are going to get them here. The only difference is that I'm not going to draw the circles. I will explain later on. Then the bottom numbers, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, it's the bottom. If you follow all those bottom numbers, it's the right-hand side here. It's the right-hand side. It's that point, that one. That should be in hidden details. So from these three, you go in hidden details like that. That part is hidden details. And then once you get that to be hidden details, you just need to do what? To outline this pipe all the way to point 3 here. From point 3, outline. Then this part of the cone here, the bottom, because the pipe is on top, so you won't see the bottom. It means that this piece of the cone here will be in hidden details. This part of the cone up until the pipe here, you do it in hidden details. Then you are done with your top view interpenetration. This, if it comes, guys, it's 20 marks. Now we need to do the interpenetration on the front. To do the interpenetration on the front, you will just come, I'll start with 0. There is 0. You can see 0 is with 6. You already have the lines from 6 and from 0, vertical lines going up. So those vertical lines from these points I've got here, you can work with the top half, it's fine. Why? Because if I want 3 and this 3, they will be in the same line when you draw it accurately. This 3 and that 3, they will be in the same line. This 1 and 1, they will be in the same line. 2 and 2 will be in the same line. So what we prefer is just work with the top half points, which is 1, 2, 3, this one, that one, that one. Just those points. The bottom is the mirror image. So like I'm saying, if I need number 0, there is 0. I'll go straight with a vertical line which is already existing until it goes and meet with 0, that point. If I want 1, which is this one here, that was our next arc, number 1. You go straight with this point here on the interpenetration, which is 1. That's 1, all the way up. 1. With 1 here coming, they'll meet here. That's a point. Then there is 2, the next one is 2. I'll go straight with a vertical line from the point of 2 here, straight up. As you go up, it must meet with 2. There. Then you go to 3, there is point 3. Okay, you go with 3 straight up, and then where it meets 3 is here. That's the point. There is 4. If you go straight with point 4, there is a line for 4. And then where is 4? Here. This one here. Where it meets here. That's point 4. Okay. And then you go to point 5, all the way straight up. And then where it meets the point of 5, it's there. And then point 6 is here, you go straight with point 6, and where it meets 6 is here. So 2 is the only one that looks off, but if you use construction lines and you use compass, the 2 is going to be sitting somewhere here. Yeah, so I'm going to just force it to say it's going to be somewhere here. The only thing once you get your point is to plot freehand. Yeah, it will look like that. Even I moved point 2, please, but you come to point 2 on the point here. You go vertically up, then with 2. 0 vertically up with 0. Then you get your interpenetration. And then that piece of a cone here must be in construction lines, very light, like that. Then you can get your 20 marks. Okay, the same thing can happen here. I'm going to quickly just demonstrate how this was going to be done, meaning that you get your 0, 1 and 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6. Then you are going to say, okay, 0 straight into there. Bring your line down to here. Then you want to open your compass here to it because this is it's a hexagon. It means that you need to use a ruler and draw a parallel line to the edge of the hexagon through this point. What I mean is, at that point, take 2 set squares, which I don't have. They're going to put like that, and another one resting. Then you slide it to go and rest on the other one, so that the construction line will be parallel like that. Obviously, there will be another one going that way. Then after that, you are going to have, it's like you're creating a smaller hexagon inside, you see. We want the hexagon that is at that point. But just draw a half. That's 0. Then you go to 1, there is 0.1. When it hits 45, the slant height, you bring the line down. Again there, I'm not going to draw everything. Just those 2 lines are enough. Then number 2, hit the, you bring down. Then that is for 2. And then the center is number 3. You draw that one for 3. Okay, even I don't do the bottom because 2 and 4 is the same point. So you just leave this one here, which is the last one. If you want to do the 4, this is 4. Come down. So we are going to change this. So I'm going to say this is 4, this is 5, and then the last one is number 6. Okay. I'll just say the hexagon pipe is sitting that way. It was very small. Yeah. So you do like that, guys. Bring all of them here. This is 4, there is number 5. When you bring 5, it will bring you to that point. When you bring 4, it will bring you to that point. 6 is the bottom one, which must bring you to the last one here. Then this black one is the hexagon coming from where? I already showed you from those corners here. That's the black part of the hexagon there. Once you get that, you still do the same. If you want, you're going to draw 45 degrees, but because of space, I said you can either use 45 or not. Otherwise, you need to draw another circle here. And this circle is same diameter, but your 0 is no longer sitting here. The 0 now will sit here. You rotate this circle clockwise at 90 degrees, clockwise, meaning that this Y line here must appear here. It's this Y line here. Okay? So 0 will be here. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I'm going to increase a bit because 3 is on top there. So let's say, and then 3 is here. Yeah, I've just modified it. But you make sure you align with it, the side view. This is 3, this is 3. Then if I want, I can work with the bottom half or the top half, it's fine. To get the points of interpenetration, you can say there's 0, you go with your line for 0 here, and where it meets the 0 hexagon, it's there. Then you go to 1, there's 1 and 5, you can see 1 and 5, like that. Where it meets the arc is here, and 5 here. Then 2 and 4, there is 4, there is 2. Yeah, you have points there, which you do on the other side. This is 1 and 5. You mark on 1 hexagon and the 5 hexagon there. This was 6 and 0. So you marked on 0 and then the 6 is this one. The 6 coming from the top there. You go to 2 and 4. This is 6, 5, 4, and 2. Okay. When we talk about 3, 3 is the center. This is 3. Where was 3? It's the midpoint, which we skipped. There's 3 somewhere in between. So when you come with this line, it will fall somewhere here. In between 2 and 4, you have 3. There will be another hexagon for 3. Even here, you come straight in between 3 and 4. It will be falling somewhere there. Yeah, so our points are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The way we did there, but now it's not going to be, we are going to still use a smooth curve. Why? Because of a round pipe. If this was not a round pipe, I was going to connect with a ruler. But again, I'm going to use a curve. The left half should be outlined up until 3. The right half in hidden detail. So if this is 3, you're going to have a hidden detail there. Then from there, you're going to outline the left half. After that, make this solid. Then hidden line for the hexagon underneath. This part of the hexagon will be in hidden line. Like that. So you're done with that. To get there, do the same. 0, you go straight up until it meets the 0. This was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, like that. So you go up with 0, the next line is 1. When you go up with 1, and then it meets 1 at a certain point there, these lines will be going that way. So 0 is there and 6 is here. When I'm looking for 1, I come to the point on the interpenetration with 1 vertically up. I'll get a point somewhere there. If I'm looking for 2, it's 1 and 5, remember? So you mark on the 5 at the bottom. 2, you go up, you're going to get a point on 2 and 4. All right? And then you have got point 3 here, you go up with 3 on the center. So in any way, this one also is supposed to be a curve. And then you outline this pipe. Then you get your marks. All right, so guys, I need you to practice. I've already posted a lot of videos on this chapter. I think this is my number 5 or 6. Practice. Line work, very important. Be very neat. Whatever is in green and red here must be construction, must be very light on your drawing board or on your drawing paper. And then if we change this pipe to a triangular pipe, and this is already in this shape, these points you're supposed to connect them with a ruler, even hidden lines, but with a ruler. Even if I change this now to a square and I change this to hexagon, square and hexagon, there's no round anyway. Then you connect your points with a ruler. But as long as there's a round anyway, whether a cone is round with a hexagon or round with a triangular, you are going to work with a curve. What I mean is only if there is no round pipe, whether the main pipe, which is the cone, or the connecting pipe, none of them is, round. Then connect your points even here and here with a straight line. When we come to developing or opening, that's when we come to see whether it was construction and it was straight line or it was a curve of interpenetration. I am going to end there, hoping that next week I'm going to do one last more on the offsets, where we have to have 2 curves here. But the same situation will happen. When we have the 2 curves here, you have to remember that the right half here, the numbers, once you draw the circle, only the right-hand side here will give you the outline curve here. Why? Because it's a right view, so it's like you flip it that way. Then the left side of a circle, whatever numbers, let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 7 all the way this side will give you another curve here, which will be hidden details. That's the only difference that we are going to have, especially on the front. If it's an offset, we are going to have 2 curves here. And the 2 curves, one is hidden and one is outlined. And I'm saying the one that is going to be outlined is the right half, because this is a right view. If this was a left view, we would say the left numbers will be outlined there. but it's a right view, so the right numbers will be there, will give us the outlined curve. It won't be like 1 and 1 or 2 and 2. This will be 11, this will be 10. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 7 will give us hidden details here. There will be another curve here, but same process, same numbering. If you prefer 45, go with 45. If you prefer drawing a circle, rotating 90 degrees, it's still the same. There's no problem there. You can choose which method you find like easier to approach. All right, then we'll see each other next week. Probably I'll just send the video. I'm not gonna do it. I'll record and post the video. Once I teach the last part, then we are going to start development, because we are running, I think next week I'll post 2 videos, one on interpenetration and the development introduction. Then we'll be remaining with the Loki, which will be our last chapter. All right, remember your exam is mid of November, so we still have like 4 weeks left to push. You need to practice, you need to ask questions if there's any questions that you are having. Otherwise, if you keep quiet, I assume that you know what you're doing. All right, we'll see you next time.